As a veteran, I don't demand special treatment. I'm not looking for handouts, but when I see a company that offers a discount or a perk for veterans, I think it is fantastic that these companies go out of their way to show appreciation for those who have served their country. And that's why I was so excited to open a bank account several months ago. This account advertised that it would completely waive the fees simply for being a veteran. I thought it was a great program until I found out that it didn't really work, and I started getting hit with surprise fees and charges. I'm sharing my experiences in today's video as a cautionary tale for other veterans. Hey everyone, welcome back. I am the Part-Time Economist, and in today's video we are talking all about banking, specifically some of the fee discounts that you may be eligible for. Now, I will share the complete story, get into all the juicy details, but starting off, I want to put the bottom line right up front. The point of this video isn't to criticize any specific bank. It's to help you understand that you've got to be careful when you're taking advantage of some of these veterans programs. Like I said, I signed up for a program that was supposed to waive my fees, and despite talking to multiple people, being told that I was good, I was not good. I started getting hit with fees. So it's great that companies offer these benefits, but at the same time, you have to realize that veterans are a very small percentage of the population, and of the veteran population, only a small fraction of those veterans take advantage of these programs. So the employees that work at these companies might not have a lot of experience dealing with these programs, so it's easy for you to fall through the cracks. That's the big picture takeaway of this video. If you think you're getting a veteran benefit through a company, keep checking on it just to make sure you're actually getting it. With that being said, it is now time for story time, and we're going to go back about 10 years when I was joining the military. I just had a very small local bank, and I knew I needed something bigger. I was going to be traveling. I didn't know where I was going to get stationed, so I asked my recruiter, and he said, "Hey, I use USAA. It's really great." So I signed up for USAA, and I've had nothing but positive experiences. Friendly people, helpful people, just a great experience with USAA overall. I've not used Navy Federal personally, but I've heard other good things about them as well. So if you're a veteran, if you're serving, you pretty much use one of these two, either Navy Federal or USAA. And like I said, they are both great banks from what I hear. However, they don't have a ton of physical locations, which can make it difficult if you need to deposit cash or go in and talk to someone. Now, for the past 10 years, this wasn't really an issue for me. I was able to do everything I needed online, but I sold some things and I had some physical paper dollar bills that I needed to deposit. So I looked online at potential solutions, going and getting a money order and making it out to myself, and I said, you know what, that's a lot of hassle. Let me just sign up for a real physical bank account. So I started looking online, and this may come as a shock to you if you use USAA or Navy Federal, but most banks will charge you money to keep your money there, which I think is absolutely wild because they also make money by lending your money out at interest. So they're charging you to keep the money there, they're charging other people to borrow it. So I've got a lot to say about that, but that is a subject for a different video. Bottom line, they're going to charge you something. Most major banks, online banks, are typically different. So I did find many different banks that had programs for veterans where they would lower or completely eliminate the fees, and I went with Chase Bank. I thought it would be a fantastic option because they were going to completely waive the fee. Now, with Chase, it was set up where it's a $25 per month fee, unless you have a certain balance in the account, unless some other condition, or if you're a veteran. So I went online, I created my account, and as soon as I created it, I sent an email to customer support saying, hey, I just signed up for this account. I want to make sure I'm good to go as far as getting this veteran benefit. And this is where things start to get a little bit weird because they're like, yeah, we don't really do that. You need to go into a physical location to make sure this is all set up. And like I said, this is where things start to get weird because I'm sitting here thinking, look, I've applied for federal jobs. I've applied for GI Bill. I've applied to multiple different colleges, and every single place I go, they're just like, yeah, email us a copy of your DD-214, right? It's 2024. So I don't know why they couldn't do this online. In any case, I went into the branch. I said, hey, just want to make sure I'm good to go. They're like, yeah, we put it in your file. You're a veteran. You're not going to get charged these fees. And I was thinking, okay, this is awesome. I didn't check on the bank account for several months, and I logged in and I see, oh, I'm getting hit with a $25 fee. So I was completely shocked. My first thought was, where's this coming from? And then I saw, oh, it's the monthly fee. So I called their corporate call center and I said, hey, I saw this fee on my account. I'm supposed to be set up to not have these fees. And the employee that I first got, they didn't even know about this veterans program. So the employee started telling me, yes, we can waive the fee if you have a certain balance or some other characteristic. And I said, yes, I understand that, but I'm a veteran and you have this specific program for veterans. So they took a couple seconds. I guess they checked their resources or something and they said, oh yeah, we do have this program. You've got to come into a branch. And I said, yes, I understand that. I have already been to a branch. They have already told me that I am good. And this employee just said, yeah, well, you have to go into a branch and you got to go into a branch and that's all there is. So not super great customer service experience because it didn't resolve anything and they didn't really present a lot of options for me. So I said, you know what, that just doesn't sound right. So I called again to a second customer support representative, and this person was a lot more helpful, a lot more empathetic, a lot more understanding. And I said, look, I have this account. I'm getting charged a fee. I'm not supposed to. I already did what I was supposed to do. I already went into a branch once. Is there anything you can do to help me out? And like I said, she was a lot more helpful. She said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to waive the fee for this month, and that will give you a month to get back to a branch, and you'll be able to give them the paperwork. You'll be good to go. So again, I said, thank you. I do appreciate it. And I said, you know, I did look, the closest branch is about 2 hours away. Is there any way I can email this? And again, she's like, no, you can't email it. So again, I don't know what the hang up with email is. I actually worked for another large financial services company and we accepted secure messages from clients all the time where they could just send us documents. So again, I don't know why it was an issue for them. But she did at least try to help. She said, you know what, we as the corporate call center can't accept it, but if you can get in contact with a local branch, maybe you can email it to them and then they can upload it through our system. So I said, okay, perfect. That's what I'll try. So the next day, I called a local branch, and when I say local, I mean 2 hours away, but a physical branch location, and I said, hey, I'm getting charged these fees. I'm not supposed to be getting them charged. I already set up the account once and you all told me I'm good. Can I just email you a copy of this? And they're like, no, you have to come in. Like, oh my goodness, what is going on with this? So anyway, I said, you know, I do appreciate that. I understand that's how things work. I have already been there. It's a 2-hour drive for me, and I don't want to take a 2-hour drive and then you tell me I'm good and then it turns out I'm not good again and I have to keep making these 2-hour drives. So I said, at this point, I think it's best for me just to close my account. So I got off the phone with them and then I had to call corporate again and said, hey, just please close out my accounts. So kind of the big picture takeaway out of all of that is that I did not have a very good experience with what was supposed to be a free benefit for veterans. Now, I want to make a couple things clear. Number one, this was my experience. You may have a totally different experience, and if you've had a great experience, I'm happy for you, right? However, I do think it's important to understand that when you're applying for these benefits, number one, they might not get used that much. So like I said, it's easy to fall through the cracks. I don't think anything here was intentional. And like I said, I'm not trying to trash any specific bank or institution, but if a program doesn't get used, if people aren't familiar with it, you're gonna have a little bit of headache trying to go through and make all of these things work. So that is the first thing. Make sure you stay on top of all of this. Takeaway number two is that when you're calling customer support, and this is kind of a life lesson in general, each person is going to have a different background, a different knowledge level. So if you get off the phone and you feel that something just wasn't handled correctly, it's always fine to call again, right? I'm not saying just call over and over and over trying to get them to change a policy, but if you feel that maybe a different perspective could be helpful, then that is always an option for you as well. And then I do just want to reiterate that I'm not here demanding a benefit or special treatment, right? The only reason that I'm even bringing this up is because if you are choosing a company because they specifically give a benefit, then I think it's important that they uphold what they've promised, right? If they don't promise anything, then you have nothing to complain about in the first place, right? But if you're expecting something and then you choose them and you don't get that benefit and now you're getting hit with surprise fees, I do think that is something that you should be aware of. So big picture takeaway for this video. Number one, as a veteran, I don't demand special treatment. However, I really do appreciate it when companies do give perks or benefits as a way of showing their appreciation. However, if you're going to use one of those perks or benefits, you need to stay on top of it to make sure that you're actually getting what you think you're getting. So as always, I do appreciate you watching. I hope you got something out of the video. If you have had any similar experiences with a company, either that does really well with veterans benefits or one that you had to really struggle with to get what they were promising, leave it down in the comments below. I do appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.